Good morning, everybody. And welcome back to the New Food Conference, Rethinking the Food Industry. Did you have a good networking evening yesterday? Everybody turns quiet, okay. Sounds like it, great. We're happy to see you all back today. I'm still Kristen Quander, and I still got Jeroen Willemsen by my side. We will co-host you through this day as well. We actually got halftime, and Jeroen, would you like to explain the house rules once again, maybe for our new guests today?
Yeah, fortunately I see some familiar faces and some new faces. You're still on front row. This is your seat, right? Yeah, that's the best spot you have, Robin. Good.
He didn't even leave.
No, that's good. Now, for those who weren't here yesterday, we'll obviously take pictures. Actually, there is a live stream running just from this moment on.
We are on the air.
If we're on the air, if you don't want to be on a picture or on a video, come to me or Christine, and we'll make sure that you'll be cut out. Yeah. Be sure your phones are on mute, obviously, and we agreed that when there are questions after the presentations, you'll of course have the opportunity to answer them, but we will hold the mic and hold it just in front of your face so you can ask the question. I think those are the most important house rules for now.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, talking about live stream, we had 1,400 people checking out the live stream yesterday. Isn't that great? And just shows a lot of interest in the topic, and that's really awesome. And we'd also like your feedback, actually, on this conference. We'd love to. So we have the stuff from ProVeg on the Access to have that feedback forms ready for you. So we'd really love you to have a look at those. And if you have any ideas or inspiration for us, yeah, feel free to send it over. We're looking forward. Actually, today at a glance, we're going to get our gloves and lab smocks on today, and a microscopically detailed and yet wide view on cell-based protein today. We're going to talk science, of course, but also taste and flavors, the retail industry, investing. We have amazing experts, and we are going to talk about the various types of cell-based meat as well as fish and seafood, and their public perception. Look at some wild ideas like eating insects, and but we also have a look at the environmental impact, consumer safety, and farmers in the face of change. So brace yourself for some dense input coming to you by the visionaries of this novel industry and those watching the market narrowly. And again, we'd like to start the day with Sebastian Joy. He's not only the CEO and founder of ProVeg, but also a social entrepreneur and a vegan innovator. And for the ones of you that don't know that, he invented, for example, the world's first B12 fortified toothpaste. That is really great because I'm using it every day. And that's actually, meanwhile, sold across Europe. Can you see?
I can see.
He's also the vice president of the European Vegetarian Union and a lecturer of nonprofit management at the Berlin School of Economics and Law. And most importantly, he is the one we have to thank for making this conference come about. Please welcome on the stage, Sebastian Joy.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Good. Okay. Well, yesterday, we talked about that we have a broad variety of people in this room, namely from 30 different nationalities. But we also have a broad variety of life experience here and age ranges in this room, and that's why I would actually like to start today with a little game. Can we maybe all stand up, please? I'm all right now. Now, the game goes as follows. I'm going to show something on the screen, and then a certain amount of you people are going to sit down. So we'll start easy. Anybody who knows what this is and actually has used it in school, please sit down. It's a slide rule. Okay, some people, okay. You're sitting?
This is very discriminating.
Okay, no. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Pardon me? But, okay, next one. Who remembers seeing pictures like these live on TV? Okay, there's a few more people. Okay. Next one. Who has ever used one of those, like on a regular basis? Okay. Okay. Still some people standing. Who ever flew in an airplane where people were smoking? I mean, legally smoking. Nobody ever flew in an airplane? Okay. No. See, you're not. Don't stand up again. If once you sit, okay? That's not how it works. Okay, who has ever used one of these? Please sit down. Oh, there are a few more. Seriously, already? Okay. Okay. Wow, okay. Everybody, wow, that's actually surprising. Okay, next one. Who remembers, like in his own lifetime, Merkel's first inauguration as the first female chancellor of Germany? Okay, you know. And now everybody who does not recognize the following symbol, please sit down. It's not recognized. Okay, wow, that's actually surprising. I thought we would have at least one person standing, but that works as well. So I think it's quite fascinating to see, how over the last decades, the world has changed. You could see, some people were really sitting down at the very first picture, and if we probably had a more younger crowd, there would probably still be people who know what is that symbol? Does anybody know? Snapchat. There are actually millions, I don't know how many, but several 10 millions of people actually using it. So, and I think this tells us, that society is ever changing. And if you look at those changes that we have seen here, there are actually often two driving forces that drive change over the course of history. And the first one is if things become more efficient. So for example, people don't use rotary phones anymore because they just have cell phones. People don't use in school, at least, not the slide rulers anymore, they use calculators. And people don't watch DVDs, because, they watch Netflix. And that's actually a good example of Netflix, because what basically happened, if you look how movies are being made or used to be made when people watched movies, you would have, you start out with an actor, you film the movie, you cut the movie, you finalize the movie, and then, you would turn the movie into a DVD or VHS. Then you go to a company like Blockbuster, which was a video rental place. You drive there or you go there, you pick it up, you drive home, you watch it, and you bring it back. And that was, for a lot of the time, that was actually, what people were doing. I actually have to admit, I shamefully have to say that I would say to my friend, let's rent a movie. And for years, I actually thought that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to rent a movie. Now it seems to be a bit absurd, because I actually never wanted to rent a movie. I actually just wanted to watch a movie. I mean, why would you rent a movie? Because nowadays, then Netflix came along and basically said, well, why don't we just cut out basically everything in the middle and make it way more efficient. Basically you get rid of that whole detour and watch the movies directly. Now, some people might say, well, but does this really have so much benefits? But actually, let's look at the market. There was Blockbuster, which was the largest movie rental chain, had a turnover of about $6 billion in the 2002, and Netflix was just getting started. Netflix was making a bit of headway, but not too much. And then it just took a few more years, and Netflix grew up, but Blockbuster didn't really change much. So Blockbuster was probably thinking, well, who's going to go online? There are not enough movies, it's too slow, blah, blah, blah. But who can guess how the story continues? How many years do you think it took for Netflix to potentially overtake Blockbuster? So it basically looked like this. So it took 3 more years out of, not really much happening for Blockbuster until they were totally out of business, and Netflix, totally soared. And if that picture looks a bit familiar, like at least in the early stage, that's basically what we predict to be happening when it comes to meat or other animal products. Because similar to how movies are being made, it's a lengthy process, but there are ways, once you have some kind of vegetable, grain, or whatever like the thing is, you can go a much more direct route, and you don't have to raise animals, feed them, transport them, slaughter them, process everything. You can go way more directly and just do it directly. And this is basically what we are aiming for. Now there is another driver in society, and that's when it comes to ethics, or on a more broader sense. For example, when you look at smoking, what we had in the airplanes, or gender equality, or gay marriage, this is not necessarily more efficient in like a more technical sense, but for whatever reason, our societies values it higher. And here we see actually a similar pattern. For example, when you look at the women's right to vote and the percentage of countries where women have the right to vote, there was not much. It started, in the late last century. With just a few countries allowing women the right to vote, and it took quite some decades for it to increase. But once it was increased, there was never really like a going back. You never see the thing going down, because we have adopted this as a value and wouldn't want to go back. Similar on a more broader sense, for example, when you look at smoking, that actually it first increased. Because it became more popular, and that's also what we see with meat. But then there were more and more reports coming in, WHO saying, oh, it's not so healthy, governments getting involved, and slowly over time, this is the per capita cigarette consumption in the US, and within actually just a few decades, the numbers plummeted again. And when we actually look at the animal products, we know that there are a lot of downsides that come with it. So, whether it's rainforest destruction or, inefficient use of resources, health problems, children being obese, factory farms, or climate change. I mean, these are all very important topics in society, and these are all like very driving forces, making a strong case why we should replace animal products with plant-based products or with clean products. So, coming back to the circle, where we say, okay, either something is really much more efficient and then a lot of change happens, or something is, better in an ethical sense, we actually have to say that animal products or the alternatives to animal products actually fall in both categories. Because there is a way to probably make it way more efficient, and at the same time to make it way more ethical and healthy and good for us. And this is actually the reason why we strongly believe that there's no way this movement is going to stop, but actually do anything then accelerate. And also more and more powerful people agree with us. For example, when you look at Richard Branson, he recently said, I believe that in 30 years, we will no longer need to kill any animals, and that all meat will be clean or plant-based, taste the same, and also be much healthier for everyone. And this is basically what we also believe, and we actually think maybe it won't even take 30 years, and that's why you are all here. So thank you very much. Now, another thank you that I would like to give. Yesterday, we already thanked our sponsors, but it's not only our sponsors we have to thank, but also the organizers, especially the ones within the ProVeg team that have for the last, I think, like 7-8 months, basically conceptualized this or made this conference happen. So I would like to welcome Julia and Leah and Kathleen on stage here. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so we have a distribution of labor, so I'm always the one pushing for the hard deadlines in terms of when the event should be happening, and then there are other people who actually have to implement it. I know that's not necessarily. Well, I know it can be quite troublesome, but I think it really worked out this time. So yes, so I would really like to really appreciate the team, because we didn't have too much time when we conceptualized it. I think once we really got to go again, I think we had 7 months, and we somehow learned the hard way. That's really cutting it short, but you guys did an amazing team. You guys did an amazing job because you're such an amazing team, and I really, really thank you very much. Okay, then I think we can get started with our first speaker, but I think Christina is going to do a better job announcing him.
Not Denmark Post, though. But I'll be announcing him. Thank you.